that these individuals lived about 300,000 years ago.
Maya people were as advanced as any of the ancient civilizations of the world.
A groundbreaking DNA test has shattered everything we thought we knew about the Maya. What scientists discovered in a sealed chamber isn't just shocking, it defies all history.
It has opportunities, it's exciting, this was the place to be.
An impossible genetic sequence reveals a truth darker and stranger than anyone imagined, rewriting the story of human origins. Discovery of hidden Mayan complex. In May earlier this year, archaeologists in Guatemala uncovered the remains of a nearly 3,000-year-old Mayan complex that revealed sanctuaries, pyramids, and an unusual network of interior canals, opening a new chapter in the study of the civilization's early development. The discovery stretched across 3 locations: Los Abuelos, Petnal, and Cambrayal, positioned near the major Mayan center of Uaxactun in the Piton region of northern Guatemala. Los Abuelos, located roughly 13 miles from Uaxactun, was named for 2 human-like rock figures discovered at the site, believed to represent an ancestral couple. Their presence, combined with several sacred sanctuaries, indicated that the location served as an important center for ritual activity. A reconstructed altar from this area revealed red, black, and yellow panels once painted with the image of a figure wearing a feathered headdress and positioned between shields or ceremonial regalia. East of Los Abuelos stood Petnal, marked by a 33-meter pyramid whose summit contained 2 preserved rooms decorated with symbolic murals. Nearby, in Cambrayal, about 3 miles from Los Abuelos, researchers identified distinctive water canals built within a palace, one of the investigation's most intriguing structural discoveries. Together, the 3 sites formed a previously unknown urban triangle that demonstrated a level of regional organization not documented before. The findings emerged through the Uaxactun Regional Archaeological Program, conducted by Guatemalan and Slovak teams with support from Comenius University in Bratislava and contributions from international experts. Although significant Mayan discoveries are rare, ongoing research and advancing technologies continue to reveal evidence that reshapes earlier assumptions. Earlier this year, archaeologists uncovered a 1,700-year-old altar containing human remains in the ancient city of Tikal, located about 14 miles south of Uaxactun. Although the altar was found in a ruined Mayan center, its decorative style suggested it had been created by artisans trained in distant Teotihuacan. In addition, laser mapping surveys across northern Guatemala revealed 964 newly documented settlements within the Mirador-Calakmul karst basin, all connected by dense causeways that demonstrated the extensive interconnectivity of Maya cities, towns, and villages. Across the border in Mexico, another breakthrough pushed the puzzle even further. Archaeologists uncovered a massive Maya city long hidden beneath the jungle canopy in the southeastern state of Campeche. The complex, named Valeriana after a nearby lagoon, contained pyramids, sports fields, amphitheaters, and causeways linking its districts. It was identified using LiDAR, a laser-based remote sensing technique capable of mapping structures buried under vegetation. The team believed this lost city ranked second in density, only to Calakmul, considered one of the largest Maya centers in ancient Latin America. Valeriana came to light when a researcher processing an environmental LiDAR survey recognized shapes others had overlooked. The data revealed an urban center that may have supported 30 to 50,000 people between 750 and 850 AD, far more than the population living in the region today. The site, which spanned about 16.6 square kilometers, held 2 central urban cores separated by about 2 kilometers and connected by dense residential areas and causeways. It featured plazas with temple pyramids, spaces for ritual worship, areas where the Maya buried their dead with treasures such as jade masks, and a court for an ancient ball game. Evidence of a reservoir showed how the population manipulated the landscape to sustain itself. Across 3 surveyed sites, researchers identified 6,764 buildings of varying sizes. Experts noted that the findings demonstrated that Maya populations lived in large, complex settlements rather than isolated villages, suggesting that the landscape had once been thoroughly inhabited. The research also supported the theory that the collapse of the Maya civilization after 800 AD was influenced partly by extreme population density and environmental stress. As drought conditions intensified, the system may have lost the flexibility needed to support its people, leading communities to move away. Warfare and the later Spanish conquest further contributed to the disappearance of Maya city-states. But a discovery far older than any of these Maya settlements was waiting deep inside the Patán Basin of Guatemala. The obsidian anomaly. Deep inside the Patán Basin of Guatemala, researchers entered one of the most congested and least explored regions of the entire Mayan world. They uncovered one of the most astonishing archaeological finds ever recorded. The restoration team working in the vast city of El Mirador used advanced ground-penetrating radar to study the foundations of collapsed temples, expecting to map structural remains and little more. Instead, the equipment detected a perfectly circular geometric void more than 40 feet beneath the pyramid's foundation. Although nature forms countless shapes, a flawless circle so rare it immediately set the team on high alert. At first, the researchers assumed they were dealing with a natural cave. Once excavation began, however, the rock they encountered contradicted every expectation. The walls were miraculously smooth, carved with a precision far beyond anything the Maya could have achieved with their original building methods. A powerful cementing material held the structure together, harder than modern industrial mixtures, and completely unlike the primitive binders used in ancient construction. Geologists conducted a detailed examination of the rock itself, searching for any composition that seemed out of place. The study led to a startling discovery: a sealed doorway formed by a single massive limestone slab, precisely shaped to fit the opening. Its surface bore carvings that showed no resemblance to Mayan designs. A few markings matched fragments of pre-Olmec styles, but the majority were unattributed to any known culture. The carvings were coated with a fine layer of dust, possibly from long periods of disuse, mineral buildup, or something far more unusual. Magnetic scans revealed another mystery. The slab produced highly irregular readings, even after accounting for metal deposits within the stone, making the data difficult to interpret. After days of careful preparation, the team finally breached the massive door. A burst of compressed air surged outward, exposing a circular chamber 23 feet wide. The room was lined with a dark, glass-like material resembling obsidian, but instead of reflecting the light from their lamps, the walls absorbed it in a deep, ebony-like stillness. The temperature inside was noticeably colder than the surrounding jungle, and the silence felt absolute, as if the space had been sealed for ages. 3 bodies sat within the chamber, each on its own pedestal, in a cross-legged position. Jade jewelry, metallic discs, and crystal shards lay arranged around them with deliberate care, creating an almost ceremonial atmosphere. Many observers initially overlooked the remarkable preservation within the sealed chamber. In a tropical region where humidity rapidly destroys organic matter, the site remained untouched, with air that had held a stable temperature for millennia. Nothing inside appeared disturbed, and nothing showed signs of decay. Yet the greatest puzzle came from the bodies themselves. Their skulls were elongated, but the shape did not match the artificial head binding common among the Maya. Bone density studies indicated a genetic trait rather than a cultural modification. Carbon dating pushed the mystery further. Organic fibers from the chamber dated back roughly 12,400 years. The result was staggering. The burial chamber and the individuals inside predated the Maya by thousands of years, belonging to a period long before any recorded history in the Americas. No pre-Columbian culture showed anything comparable in architectural precision or technological advancement. Chaos in DNA records. The first round of DNA testing showed that one of the bodies carried mitochondrial DNA from haplogroup A2, a lineage commonly found among indigenous peoples of the Americas. At first, the results seemed routine, but when researchers proceeded to deep sequencing, the data defied expectation. The genome revealed a puzzling blend of human and non-human segments, and regions that existed in a space between the two. Initially, the team assumed contamination, but the same anomaly appeared across all three individuals, ruling out error. The irregularities were found in the genome's non-coding regions, long considered junk DNA. Yet the arrangement carried a patterned structure marked by striking mathematical order. Once mapped, the recurrence of the motif fell into a ratio nearly identical to the rhythm described by the Fibonacci sequence. The team named it Sequence X473. The more the geneticists examined the sequence, the more extraordinary its implications became. The ancient genome displayed developmental traits that, in the modern human population, would require thousands of years of evolutionary change to appear. The pattern's precision suggested a level of genetic engineering previously undocumented. Combined with the unprecedented architecture of the chamber where the bodies were found, the discovery challenged existing ideas about the evolution of early populations in the Americas, the rise of their civilizations, and the technologies available to them. The international scientific community quickly became divided. Some researchers argued that the evidence could point toward remnants of an unknown advanced culture that existed long before any established society in the region. Others proposed that an unexplained natural process might have preserved or reshaped the genetic material in ways not yet understood. Yet the mathematical regularity of the sequence, along with the chamber's engineering, made these explanations increasingly difficult to defend. The discovery pushed its researchers to the edge of the known scientific world, opening an entirely new path into the study of human origins and the possibility of advanced societies predating recorded history. The more they uncovered about the site and the people it sheltered, the more they were forced to reconsider long-accepted narratives about the development of civilization in the Americas. Mystery of Sequence X473. The discovery quickly shifted from curious to deeply unsettling. What researchers first assumed were traces of ancient DNA turned out to be something far more extraordinary: active genetic material. A second university was brought in to verify the unusual properties of the sequence X473 strands, which displayed subtle bioatonic traits that defied conventional classification. When exposed to ultraviolet light, the samples emitted wavelengths similar to those produced by deep-sea creatures, demonstrating a clear bioluminescent response. This raised two immediate questions. How were the human remains found in the jungle chamber connected to this phenomenon, and why did their DNA mimic the glowing behavior of marine species from the ocean depths? A global search across every genetic database revealed no match with any known species or extinct lineage. All evidence pointed toward hybridization, but the structure suggested intentional design. A breakthrough came when researchers studying the chamber walls captured enlarged images of the spirals and star-shaped patterns carved into the entry door. When these designs were forwarded to the genetics team, they were stunned to find that the intricate motifs aligned perfectly with the base pair structures of sequence X473. The implication was unavoidable. The creators of this chamber had deliberately embedded genetic information into both the remains' biology and the artwork surrounding them. The magnitude of the discovery was staggering, transforming the chamber's perceived purpose from a crypt or ritual site into a sophisticated archive. It became clear the builders were not merely honoring their dead, they were using them as biological repositories. This proved that 12,000 years ago, this lost culture possessed a profound understanding of genetic engineering, deliberately fusing cosmic information directly into the DNA of the interred individuals. This finding gave startling credibility to an avant-garde theory once proposed by a leading geneticist: that specific non-coding sequences in DNA functioned not as biological components, but as a storage system a biological hard drive. To test this, researchers converted these regions into binary form. They uncovered repeating numerical constants that aligned precisely with astronomical ratios, the orbital relationship between Venus and Earth, and the ratio of Earth to the Sun. Further examination of the skeletal remains revealed more irregularities. The calcium isotopic ratios showed that these individuals had lived in an environment with significantly higher oxygen levels. This condition had not existed in the region for more than 10 millennia, yet their identities remained elusive. They did not represent an unknown human branch or a forgotten lineage preceding the Mayans. The truth was far stranger. The final comparative study produced the most shocking result of all. The sequence had never vanished. Instead, it had persisted in a dormant state and remained within modern human populations. This revelation triggered intense debate throughout the scientific community. Scholars speculated that this long-lost civilization possessed knowledge far beyond the fundamentals of astronomy. Their precision in genetic manipulation pointed toward an understanding of quantum physics and biotechnology far more advanced than previously imagined. Clues from the chamber's design strengthened this idea. Its architecture features the exact alignment of celestial bodies and geometric patterns that mirror the structure of DNA. These connections raised profound questions about human evolution and suggested that ancient societies may have achieved technological capabilities comparable to those of the present day. As geneticists continued to study sequence X473, they identified slight variations of the sequence appearing in isolated cultures worldwide. This global distribution challenged long-held theories about human migration and cultural development, prompting archaeologists to reassess earlier interpretations of artifacts, burial sites, and cultural exchanges. Many concluded that evidence of shared scientific knowledge might have been present all along. This discovery was not merely an archaeological milestone. It was a recovery of knowledge that could influence humanity's future. Yet its promise carried unsettling implications. The ethical challenges were immense, requiring careful deliberation to balance potential benefits with the responsibilities that come with such technology. The most haunting questions focused on the civilization itself. What could have driven a society capable of such advanced genetic engineering into collapse? Was their decline gradual or catastrophic? Was it caused by environmental change, internal error, or perhaps a consequence of their own scientific prowess? Emerging evidence suggested that our ancestors had possessed a deep understanding of the connection between genetics and consciousness, a level of insight capable of reshaping how we interpret human evolution and the trajectory of human destiny. What could have driven a society capable of such advanced genetic engineering into collapse? Guardians of the Old Blood. The search for the sequence's purpose led from the ancient chamber to the modern world. Geneticists, cross-referencing their data, found a faint but undeniable match. Trace remnants of sequence X437 persisted in a remote highland community in the Yucatan Peninsula. Laboratory analysis confirmed that carriers of the sequence exhibited measurable biological advantages. Their cells demonstrated accelerated tissue repair and heightened neural activity linked to memory recall, explaining generations of observed resilience to certain infections within these isolated groups. Anthropologists discovered the cultural counterpart to this genetic legacy. Elders spoke of a responsibility to preserve the old blood, and when shown the spiral glyphs from the 12,000-year-old chamber, they recognized them immediately. They called the symbols the breath of the sky, fragments of a knowledge system predating the Maya. Their strict marriage traditions were not mere custom, but an unconscious, centuries-long project of genetic conservation. The investigation revealed the sequence was not inherited from a single source. It appeared as fragmented echoes in populations worldwide, among South Pacific Islanders, Andean communities, and Arctic peoples. The pattern defied natural migration, suggesting it had been deliberately introduced into humanity's genetic fabric at different points in history. This global distribution pointed to a system far grander than a single lost tribe. The sequence was not just a carrier of information, it appeared to be a biological interface. Neuroscientists found that carriers exhibited unique neural synchrony, their brainwaves aligning in a way that suggested access to a shared cognitive network, a living, distributed consciousness anchored by their DNA. The mystery was no longer just about the past. The question became functional. What was this network for? The answer emerged not from the people, but from the ground itself. A few miles from the research center, sensors detected a low-frequency vibration resonating from deep beneath the Earth, a steady pulse that perfectly matched the sequence's mathematical signature. The key had been found. Now, it was calling to the lock. A pulse from below. As genetic specialists examined blood samples for clues, remote sensing teams uncovered a second anomaly, one far larger and stranger than the first. Hidden beneath dense jungle and sealed under layers of ancient ash and limestone, they detected a perfectly symmetrical ring nearly 300 feet across. Its size alone set it apart, but its shape and depth made it clear this was not a natural formation. Core samples revealed the truth. The ring contained advanced metal alloys including titanium, vanadium, and iridium, materials that require extreme temperatures to forge. Surrounding volcanic glass held metallic particles fused by heat exceeding 3,000 degrees Celsius, a level no pre-industrial civilization could have achieved. This structure was neither a shrine nor a ruin. It was a technological device. Even more unsettling, the ring produced sound. Magnetometric readings captured faint, low-frequency electromagnetic pulses that repeated with flawless precision every 11 minutes. The device's purpose remained unknown. Researchers converted the pulse pattern into numerical ratios, and the results stunned them. The signal matched the mathematical ratio of sequence X437 exactly. The structure was communicating with the DNA. This single discovery shifted the investigation from the idea of a lost civilization to something far more complex. Was the machine powering the DNA, or were the people powering the machine? A full-scale analysis began immediately. Ground-penetrating radar and thermal imaging revealed an extensive network beneath the ring, composed of interconnected tunnels and chambers. The geological team excavated precise trenches and uncovered surfaces etched with microscopic patterns that shifted under different wavelengths of light. The debate intensified among the specialists. Quantum physicist Dr. John Taylor suggested that the structure manipulated quantum fields, producing effects that matched the extreme temperatures recorded in the surrounding materials. Sensitive instruments confirmed anomalies in local quantum fluctuations, strengthening his case. Simultaneously, the genetics division uncovered another unexpected detail. Sequence X437 responded to the ring's emissions by altering its configuration. The DNA was not a passive element. It was part of the machine itself. The discovery attracted experts across scientific disciplines. Within weeks, the jungle clearing became the center of international research. Advanced on-site laboratories were constructed, equipped with cutting-edge instruments to study every aspect of the structure. If the ring truly dated back 12,000 years, then human history required rewriting. Its alloys matched the sophistication of modern quantum-level materials, yet its creators operated in a time long before recorded engineering. The investigation continues, with each breakthrough opening more questions. The architects of time and number. The same sophisticated intelligence that encoded astronomical ratios into human DNA was manifested on a grand scale in the Mayas' most incredible achievement, their calendar. This was not merely a tool for tracking days. It was a complex, interlocking machine of time, built from multiple cycles that measured everything from human gestation to cosmic revolutions. Evolving from Mesoamerican roots, the Maya refined it into a complex framework capable of recording lunar and solar cycles, eclipses, and planetary movements with stunning accuracy. In many cases, such as their calculation of the solar year, their precision exceeded that of their contemporaries in the Old World. This system was intrinsically tied to Maya ritual, governing the timing of wars, harvests, and sacred ceremonies. The calendar's structure combined a non-repeating long count with 3 primary cycles. The 260-day Tzolk'in served as the foundation for ceremony and prophecy. The 365-day Hab approximated the solar year, ending with the feared 5-day Wayeb, a time when the supernatural and mortal realms dangerously converged. The combination of these cycles created the 52-year calendar round. To fix a date within a much grander time scale, the Maya used the long count, which measured time linearly from a mythical start point of creation in 3114 BC. The genius of the long count is revealed in its vast vigesimal-based units. It extended from the basic day, or keen, to monumental spans like the Baktun, which stands for 144,000 days, and even to almost unimaginable periods like the Piktun, meaning 2.88 million days, and the Alautun, which is over 23 billion days. This structure allowed them to conceive of and calculate time across millions of years. This mastery of time was directly fueled by meticulous astronomy. Maya priest astronomers made observations that were more accurate at the time of European contact than comparable European knowledge. They calculated the 584-day Venus cycle with an error of merely 2 hours. Their codices contained advanced tables for predicting eclipses, and the heliacal rising of Venus was so significant that the hieroglyph for war incorporated the planet's symbol. Buildings like the Caracol at Chichen Itza were architecturally aligned with the extremes of Venus's path, physically embedding celestial knowledge into their cities. This godlike command over time and the cosmos was made possible by a second, equally brilliant invention: a mathematical system sophisticated enough to handle these colossal calculations. To build a calendar spanning millions of years, the Maya first had to invent a language to describe it. That language was a mathematical system characterized by 2 revolutionary concepts: a base 20 system and the independent invention of the number 0. This conceptual leap eluded many contemporary civilizations, including the Romans. The system employed just 3 symbols: a dot for 1, a bar for 5, and a stylized shell for 0. Using a place value system where a number's value depended on its vertical placement, they could represent any number, from the simple to the astronomically large. This vigesimal system is directly reflected in their calendar, where units like the Winal, meaning 20 days, and the Katun, meaning 7,200, are products of base 20 multiplication. The true power of this system was unlocked by their use of 0. It was not merely a placeholder, but a fully realized numerical value representing completion or nothingness. This allowed them to perform calculations with an efficiency impossible in non-place value systems. It was this tool that enabled them to calculate dates spanning millions of years, to track Venus's cycles precisely, and to anchor their creation mythology to a specific day millennia in the past. Their mathematics was not an abstract discipline. It was the fundamental code they used to quantify, predict, and ultimately to master the perceived order of the universe. Thanks for watching. Now check out the videos popping up on screen for more unbelievable stories.